This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work with another Wolff Responds. I want to talk about the parallel crises affecting the Republican and Democratic parties pretty much at the same time now in the United States. I'll begin with the Republican Party. We have seen in recent weeks a remarkable set of cracks and splits occurring in that party, and I want to put them in a context. On the one hand, you have the reaction of the old conservative Republican Party establishment, looking on in horror at what other members of their party did on January 6th in Washington, looking on in dismay at much of the Trump administration. The only nationally recognized spokesman still hanging on to that middle ground of the older conservative establishment of the party was Mitch McConnell. And he acted in such a way as to, if anything, demonstrate, prove, and worsen the cracks and splits all at the same time. He attacked CEOs in general, leaders of major American corporations. They were behaving badly, he said, intervening politically, with the astounding remark reflecting that he seemed to have needed to forget that they've been active in politics, for example, giving him millions, if not billions of dollars over recent years. But he was angry that they were withdrawing, for example, from Georgia in response to all of the laws passed there restricting voters' rights to vote, and Republicans across the country doing the same in reaction to the presidential election they lost last November. So Mr. McConnell was denouncing the funders of his party. Only extreme circumstances could provoke such an outburst. And almost at the same time, the right wing, the extreme right wing, the Trump wing, if you like, in the person of Mr. Trump himself, denounced Mitch McConnell for a variety of shortcomings from their extremely right position. This was followed shortly by the effort of Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican first-term representative, proposing to create a caucus of Republicans in the Congress committed to restoring and affirming, now her words, Anglo-Saxon virtues and traditions. You would not need anything clearer to see the power of white supremacy in the right wing of the Republican Party. These are splits. One side cannot tolerate the other. One side denounces the middle. The middle denounces another side, tries to hold on to its relationship with the Trump side, even though denouncing Trump for the January 6th events. Put it together and you have a badly split, cracking Republican coalition. On the Democratic side, you have very similar results. There, the split is more a two-way rather than a three-way. Yes, you have the old establishment, the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, and they are clearly in charge, as Mr. O'Biden is the president. But that presidency and that Democratic center is in deep trouble. It cannot get its program through. It will not take the radical steps that might enable them to get the program through, like going to the people, revving up the mass base. And part of the reason they don't want to do that is revving up the mass base risks supporting, helping, strengthening the left wing. the Bernie Sanders, the AOC, the growing number of progressive or socialist, or in any case, left of center people winning elections in for the Democratic Party and in the Democratic Party across the country, at federal level, state level, and local levels, with more coming, already announcing almost every day. The energy, the light, the enthusiasm, and the mobilized people are on the left. The old tradition is trying to hold on. A Democratic Party badly split, and with the failure to get even the modest Biden program through, dismay, disagreement, dislike of the left for the center in the Democratic Party deepens. No one can predict the future. It may be possible for either party or both parties to paper over the cracks and splits, to get together at least at election time and put the differences aside, maybe. But they are deeper and more threatening than ever before, at least for a long time. And the reason is not hard to find. Catastrophic problems of this system. With 4% of the world's population, the United States records 20% of COVID deaths. That is a failure to sustain public health that is a sign of and a contributor to social breakdown, as is the enormous unemployment that continues to dog this economy, and the even greater inequality that keeps actually getting worse even as people bemoan and criticize it. Social fissures of this sort get reflected in political cracks and splits. The opportunities for those at the margins of American politics to become powerful haven't been this open and encouraging for a long time. And that too will play its role in determining how these cracks and splits in both parties shape up in the months and years ahead. This is Richard Wolff for Democracy at Work.